Phil, he's like pretty much my best friend. We're very close, and he was in a play that I wrote in like 96 or 97, and that was when we first really met. And the director wasn't so good, but we sort of found his performance and my play by talking to each other, and we realized we sort of had a sort of kinship or something. And then the next play I wrote, I asked him to direct it, and he said, well, I never directed before. And I said, well, I never wrote before, you know? And so we started, and yeah, it's like 12 years, and he's done 5 or 6 of the plays. And the thing about Phil, what have I learned from him? Like, so much. If I could say one thing, so I don't talk for 45 minutes, because I could talk, you know, for a long time about what I learned from Phil. But if I could say one thing about what I learned from him, I think most people here, if you know his work, you'd say like he's, you know, a great actor. You know, maybe one of our best actors. You know, and there is a misconception, I think, that people think about talent, because like he has talent, he has so much talent. Yes, you know. But I remember years ago, I was directing a play. I was directing Danny and Deep Blue Sea, like a little off thing. And I was just learning about actions, you know, like in acting, you know, like what's your action, like verbs that you use to activate what the person's doing moment to moment. And I was like, Phil, man, can you explain to me about this actions thing? Because I'm getting kind of stuck and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, man. And so he's like, let me get my script. And he came out with this film script. And it wasn't like, you know, Capote. It wasn't anything deep. It was like it wasn't Twister, but it was like that. It wasn't a big, heavy movie, you know. And he brought out his script to like sort of put about actions, and you couldn't. It was so filled with writing, you know, that you couldn't detect. You know, like the point is like the guy works so hard, you know. I mean, literally, you couldn't see the text from the thing, you know. Talent, absolutely, works so hard. I hope that I'm starting to learn about working hard from him. When I was writing G's Up the A Train, I was stuck about 2/3 away because I was scared, you know. I was kind of giving birth to something, kind of, and I was afraid. And I went to go see Phil and John C. Reilly did True West on Broadway like 10 years ago. So I went to go all the time, and for some reason I had seen him play Lee like 8 or 9 times, but I never saw him play the other guy, Austin. And then it was like closing weekend, and I remember I was actively procrastinating from writing this play that we were about to go in rehearsal for. I hadn't seen him do Austin. He's like, come on down. So I went down, and his performance was, I mean, he was great as Lee, and Lee's like the real like alpha male, throw shit around. He was amazing. But his performance was like so moving to me, so honest, so generous, so true, so crafted, so that I remember afterwards, and there was some friends, and we were waiting, we were all like sort of together, and we were out, and people were like, oh, where do you want to eat, where do you want to eat? And all of a sudden I felt something, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta go, man. I'll call you later, I love you, blah, 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 see you later. And I got, like, I remember I turned away from my friends, unlocked my bike, just in time to just start crying, you know. And I went home, and I turned on my computer, and I started writing, and I finished the play. Now, I don't care, play good, play bad, doesn't matter. What matters was, like, in that moment, what I felt was like, he had a talent, and he did everything in his power to show it, to give life to it, to be generous with it. And what I felt was like, I was aware I probably have some talent, but I'm doing everything I can to avoid it and shirk it and hide from it. And that's been the case with him since I've known him. You know, every play he does, you know, we're on the phone in the middle of the night, and he thinks he sucks, he wants to quit acting, he wants to go to a friend, you know, and we're close friends, so it's painful to hear it, you know, but I also say to him, I'm like, you know what, man, as your friend, I feel really, you know, I feel you, and I feel bad, and you are good. I was like, but I tell you what, when I go to theater and pay $100 or $110 to go see a play on Broadway, like, I want to see the actor who's up in the middle of the night because he thinks he sucks, because that's how hard he's working on it. Because there's plenty, including our friends, you know, it's like that they're in a play and they really suck. By suck, I don't mean that they're not good, but like that they're not giving what they should give. And they leave the theater and they're like, where do you want to eat? Oh, you want to do this, want to do that? And I'm not saying that this thing that we do as writers and actors needs to be, you know, that we carry our own whip and we beat ourselves. It's not about that, but it's important. It matters. And trying to do good stuff is important, and it matters. And like we were saying earlier, it's not like people are beating down the door to come to the theater. So you got to have a responsibility if you're on the stage or in the writer. Like, whether it's good or not doesn't matter, but whether you're giving the best effort you can to represent the theater, represent the play, you know, that's important. So he has many good qualities, but he's a guy that truly works incredibly hard.